maybe how you feel about this season. Touch on your schedule real briefly, and then these guys will ask questions.
Okay. Well, we're basically the same team we were last year. We have one newcomer, but she's not really a newcomer, Heather Griffin, who was on the squad from Christmas on last year. Everybody else is the same, and a lot of times you would think that that was going to be a positive, but what we found out is that we've all kind of settled back into the same things that we did a year ago, and we've told the girls that if we're going to be as good as we were, we're going to have to be better, if that makes any sense. And right now we're not there yet. So I mean, it's early. Are they going to learn? I don't know, but we have a tougher schedule this year to push you through it. I mean, we don't have the 10 straight road games and the 5 with the crew that we had, but we do have Arkansas State, who's picked at the top of the Sun Belt. We've got Memphis picked to win Conference USA. Southern Miss has brought in 2 unbelievable kids. St. Louis is added. Then you've got Purdue and Louisville and Vanderbilt. So tough schedule ahead of us, and maybe these kids will figure it out. But it's going to be, you know, we're heavily relying on our guards, which I guess is not rocket science, and we'll do that until we need some help, and hopefully we're going to have some kids that will step up and help them.
Coach, played the exhibition games this past weekend. Just talk about kind of what you saw just in action against the, you know, another.
Oh, the scrimmage was this last weekend. We have the exhibition game coming up Thursday against Christian Brothers. In the scrimmage, it was you probably could have predicted it and not gone. Guards look good. Post players are lagging behind. If a post player decides to step up, which one didn't this weekend, then we could be pretty good. But it's same song, 47th verse, I guess you could say, and we're just hoping that one of these post players is going to take the challenge.
Do you expect Griffin to be a backer?
You know, maybe. She's a savvy basketball player. She's got some skills, but you know, a year sitting out not playing is, I don't know. I think a fair thing would be to ask that question around Christmas time and see if she's kind of developed some. I mean, it's just different. She's used to playing against post kids around her size, and first time you turn around, there's a 6'3" girl there. It's, you know, you're not in Kansas anymore. So she could, but I don't know if she will or not.
Talk a little bit about what kind of a difference maker Butler is and what she can do this year, how much better she can be, and how good she already is.
Well, you look at Butler and Newsom, Hayslip, and you go, you know, how much better can these kids get, period. Over the summer, we needed 6 or 8 players to improve and step up and get better. And the truth of the matter is Butler's better and Newsom's better. And I'm going, okay, we didn't really need y'all to be better. We needed these guys to be better. I think it's more Butler and Newsom have a little different mindset this year. I don't know if they're better basketball players than they were a year ago. They're a year older, a year wiser, stronger, more confident in themselves. You know, now will that translate? I don't know, because they're going to get probably twice the attention that they had last year. So, I mean, they may struggle some, but even be better than they were, which is kind of the point I'm trying to tell our kids. We're going to have to be better to be just as good as we were. But, you know, what she brings is just, if I played with her, I'd probably hate her guts, because she would make me realize how much I didn't use what I have. You know, we're playing the other day, and she goes inside with all the big kids, and she tips one in. And I just stopped practice. I was like, okay, post players, y'all haven't tipped one in 2 weeks. And here comes little Butler running in there, and she tips one in. I mean, why can't y'all get it done? And so, you know, she never ceases to amaze me. And she's kind of like the Cardinals. You know, how they got that done, I don't know. Have no idea. How she gets stuff done like she does, I don't know. But I've quit worrying about trying to figure out and just kind of enjoy watching her do stuff. She's a phenomenal player and just as good a person as you'll ever meet.
Talk about coming up with this season, building off the success you had last season.
Well, we'd like to say that we're going to keep rising up, creating. Not every season creates challenges, and even with everybody coming back, and even with them being experienced, I think the challenge this year may be greater than it was last year, because there's going to be a mark on your back. That's a totally different thing than being an unknown. You know, this time a year ago, these kids never played a college game, so it was kind of like, who are those guys? Well, at least now people know who you are. So that challenge itself, how we're going to respond to that, I don't know. And then you flip back to the 48th verse of which post player is going to step up and play for us. And I know I'm beating that into the ground, but that's honestly, you saw it in the tournament. When Eureka Glenn played well in the conference tournament, 2 games, we were the best basketball team up there. When she didn't show up for 4 or 5 games during the conference regular season, it was a struggle. So the season is there it is. I mean, are these kids going to answer these challenges? Are we going to, build off of last year, be able to kind of be better than we were? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a quick test. But that's kind of a cop-out answer. I don't know if I really answered your question, but there's a lot of undecided things this year that are going to be glaring. Last year we could hide some things, and I just don't. This year I don't think there's going to be a way to hide stuff.
Coach, talk about, I mean, obviously the goal for every team is to go and win it all, but that's not realistic with every team. Talk about the realistic goals that you set, I guess, for your team this year.
Well, we talked about that the other day. We don't sit down and set goals. I guess our goal that's kind of entrenched in every player that's on the team, and every coach in the program, every manager, everybody is, we simply want to, and it's probably nothing you'll write about, but it's what we are. We try to be the best we are every single day. So the goals kind of take care of themselves. If we are the best we can be, can we beat Duke in the first round of the NCAA tournament? Well, I don't know. Probably not. Not that day. But if we can be the best we can be throughout the season, every day in practice, can we maybe get an 11 or 12 seed? Maybe. Maybe. If a post will step up and do it, can we do it? Maybe. So, we haven't set any real goals, honestly. But our goal is that, today's their day off and you get the best rest you can get. Tomorrow when we walk back in the gym, let's go to work. Let's be the best players we can be. And the kids that have taken that to heart, you guys can see. I mean, guards have taken that to heart, and the post players haven't. Where are we, 49th verse now? So that, again, that's kind of a cop-out answer, but we really have not sat down and said go. I think unwritten to the girls, they'd like to repeat what they did, and they'd like to be a 11 or 12 seed, but that's not something that we've discussed.
You mentioned Eureka's playing the conference tournament last year. If she were to be the one to step up, would that be enough, or does 3, 4? I mean, you mentioned 6 or 8 earlier.
Well, I think we all believed that Eureka was going to be the one that would take that and run with it. She honestly has settled back into the same mode that we started with last year. So we might have to do it by committee. We'll try. That makes it real hard as a coach, because you don't know which kid's going to show up on which night and how much they're going to do. I mean, you just have no idea. So it's like you're out there gambling with what they're doing. But I think she would be an obvious choice to step in and take that responsibility. I don't know if she wants it. And then, you've got Beth Hong. That's kind of asking her to do something a little bit out of her comfort zone. I think Shelby Crawford's one that really has got that chance. Shelby and Preek are probably the 2, and Rakisha the 3 that really could do what we need them to do, but I don't know. First 50, it's an everyday thing, and we've walked out. I guarantee you, 1:30 tomorrow, come down there and watch us, and you'll see, an entire staff that's optimistic that today's the day that someone's going to walk in here and take that spot for us. Because it just, I had a coach, a friend of mine, after our scrimmage said, if I can give you my post player, y'all are a tough group to handle. And that's kind of, it took them all of 5 minutes to realize you better not leave those guards. Just stay on those posts one-on-one. So I think Eureka can do it. And there's no question she can. She's just got to decide that she wants that responsibility. Some people are a little nervous about that.
Talk about the conference as a whole. Tournament champions picked second this year. Talk about how this year looks.
I think the conference is better. I think this is the best I've seen the OVC in a while, and I've followed the OVC since the early 90s. I think there were a couple of years back there when Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, and Eastern Kentucky were really strong. That was in Austin Peay back in the mid 90s. They had a real good run then. I think it's again as good or better. Eastern Illinois and Tennessee Tech did not lose anybody and have added players. So, you know, Eastern Illinois was picked to win it last year, or top 2, and ended up 5th, but didn't lose a soul and have added. Tennessee Tech finished the league number 1 regular season, didn't lose anybody, and have added. So I think that everything's kind of on the rise. You know, we lost a little in Weatherly and are having to try to see if we can figure out how to answer that. And then everybody else in the conference has gotten better. So I think, how big will we jump this year as a conference? I don't know. I guess if we were 27th to 28th last year. If we could break 25, I'd feel pretty good. And if we can keep getting a little bit better, you know, because the better we can get, the better seed somebody's going to get at the end. And I think it'll be, now the format's going to be strange. So I think you're going to see some, because of the schedule, you're going to see some strange things in the league. Meaning we may play one team once and then come down to the end, and it's going to throw out, tiebreakers to me, I don't know how they're going to do them. But it's just going to be a little different than usual. But I really do. I think the league is better than it's ever been.
Anything else for Coach?
Anything else?